to a dark nation. Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlelady reserves the balance of her time. Members are reminded that it is not in order to draw to the attention of the House occupants of the gallery. The gentleman from Alabama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now yield 2 minutes to my friend, the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Schropp.
The gentleman from Illinois is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In March, I had the honor to join my friends from Alabama in traveling to Birmingham as part of the 13th Annual Congressional Civil Rights Pilgrimage, joined by my esteemed colleague, Congressman John Lewis of Georgia, who led the delegation to numerous landmarks that defined the civil rights movement in Alabama at the time, including the tragedy that occurred at the 16th Street Baptist Church. The legislation we are considering today comes 50 years after the senseless death of 4 girls when a bomb exploded in their church one Sunday morning in September of 1963. Less than a month before this bombing, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, not far from where I stand today in the House chamber, and declared that he dreamed of a day when all people could coexist and thrive together in peace and justice. The echo of his call for peaceful protests was still fresh in the mind of millions when it was replaced by the violent explosion at the 16th Street Baptist Church, which injured dozens and killed the 4 innocent girls. Addie Mae Collins, Denise McNair, Carol Robertson, and Cynthia Wesley did not live to see Dr. King's dream realized, but their tragic deaths catalyzed the civil rights movement and produced a backlash against these unthinkable acts of violence from across the country. As we have seen in recent tragedies, acts of violence often produce the opposite outcome that the desired perpetrators had. Less than 1 year after the bomb went off at the church, the Civil Rights Act passed out of this very chamber and became law in 1964. A year later, in 1965, this chamber passed and was put into law the Voting Rights Act. Today, the House continues to act. The legislation before us awards the Congressional Gold Medal, which is the highest civilian honor given by Congress to the 4 girls whose sacrifice advanced the March of Freedom in this country. Their memory is rightly recognized by those who love justice, and it is befitting that we should honor them with the highest recognition. I urge passage of this legislation and urge my colleagues to do the same. And I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Alabama.